right, good morning or good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to our Zebra Dev Talk. We are thrilled to have you with us for a discussion on Zebra Dev Talk, leverage Zebra Enterprise extensions on Android for optimal application development. Before we get started, let's go over a few quick housekeeping notes here. This webinar is being recorded and will be up on YouTube in about a week. All attendees are currently muted. We'll have a Q&A segment at the end, and if you've got a question during the session, please use the Q&A feature in Zoom. We will do our best to answer your question if time allows. Zebra is committed to empowering our developer community with the right tools and resources. We invite you to join and visit our developer portal. Also, we would highly recommend that you engage through our Dev Talks. These are the global technical webinars that are designed for our developer community. DroidCon London, October 30 to 31st, DroidCon India, around December 13 and 14. Zebra team will be there. Be sure to visit our booth and don't forget to grab some cool swag items. We also have Dev Kitchen events lined up for this year. These are highly technical deep dive sessions that will discuss about the Android technology. Don't forget to follow us on social and stay connected with us. We will be dropping the links in the chat later. Please scan the QR code on the right side of your screen to stay connected with us. Before we move to the DevTalk presentation, Zebra hosted DevCon from June 4 to 6, featuring over 35 breakout sessions focused on asset visibility, intelligent automation, connected frontline workers, and thought leadership. Keynotes were delivered by leaders from Google Cloud, Edge Impulse, Albert Heijn, Nine University, and Zebra Technologies. The event attracted over 100 plus developers. The initial feedback that we received was very positive, and we are excited to continue engaging with you, our developer community, with all the industry trends and topics. For those who attended, you have an exclusive first access to the keynote sessions and breakout sessions, including slides and recording from the main stage and track sessions. And before I hand it over to Prashant and Kanagal, I would like to run a quick video to let you know how the event was. So with that, I hand it over to you, our Zebra expert, Prashant Kadur and Kanagal. Over to you.
Thank you. My name is Prashant Kadur. I lead, I'm an engineering lead for a number of teams that develop tools, SDKs, solutions for the mobile device, mobile computers. And I have several teams across several countries, and then we develop software solutions, including some of the things I'm going to be introducing you to. And then I also have Kanagal on the call. He's the architect for several of our solutions. We both will be answering questions eventually if needed. So let's get it going. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about the tools and EMDK, database, and all of that. It's been there for a while. So this is mostly about the new things that we have been doing, mostly in the cloud, but there are also some solutions on the device side. And what are they? And if you're not already aware of it, I'll do a little small introduction to these solutions and also APIs. What kind of APIs are there? What kind of use cases that we have come across? That was our intention, not necessarily getting into the APIs in this session, right? Introduce you to the solution and some of the APIs that you can use, and then the use case that we came up with. The first one is Device Guardian and Access Management. It's also called DG and DGAM. Device Guardian used to be Device Tracker before. It's a cloud-based solutions. Is used for tracking and recovery of missing devices. So a number of customers, especially the big customers where they have multiple devices in their solution in their locations and sites, they don't find the devices when they want them. Sometimes they completely lose them. The idea is to recover them before you lose them, or also if it is missing, go find that device. I'm not getting into the details of every little things that this solution can do, but like I said, all the devices are talking to the cloud, and then cloud has a bunch of services running, and then they're tracking these devices and creating reports, creating emails, alerts, and all of that. Next slide, please. Okay, so Device Guardian is the one that does the tracking and recovery of missing devices. There will be a proximity indicator to say, oh, if that device is there, let's go find it. So it gives you feedback as to where it is. And then you can also send an alert, say, oh, I found that device, and let's beep it so that I can really go retrieve it. And then the access management part is, this is where we are giving enhanced capability, including local visibility on a tablet of all the devices, so you don't have to go to the browser on a PC. And there is also a physical kiosk ability so that you can check out a device and check in a device from a hardware point of view. So that's also available as part of the access management. And then we have the Identity Guardian that is used in both Device Guardian and Device Guardian Access Management. Identity Guardian is a separate solution by itself, but it can be used in conjunction with DG and DJAM. Identity Guardian blocks the screen, and so you until you authenticate who you are, it will not let you use the device. So that can be used in with Device Guardian and Device Guardian Access Management. Or you can say, I don't want tracking of the devices. I just want the Identity Guardian, where I want to say, I want to block the device. I want to authenticate using maybe facial biometrics or SSO. There are multiple options available in Identity Guardian. Once again, I'm not going to go into the details of Identity Guardian, but I do have a couple of slides on Identity Guardian. I'll take you through it. Next slide, please. So Device Guardian is the very first product that they all come together as an entire end-to-end solution. So Device Guardian, this is where the devices on the first side, you see the devices. You can see a notification coming up saying, there is a lost device nearby. Do you want to go find it? So you're walking around and a device has been marked as lost. It could be marked as lost for several reasons, including it is not, it's running low on battery, or it hasn't moved in a while, or it lost connection, Wi-Fi, and you still want to go and find it. Then you can click on I want to find it, and then it will take you to the second screen where it shows you how far you are from the device, and then it's using BLE, so even if you don't have Wi-Fi, it can try to find it. We have the BLE batteries are also available. That means that the main battery, even if it is completely dead, the BLE battery, that extra battery is available for a while, for a few hours, maybe a couple of days, where you can go and try to find the last devices, even if it completely drains out the battery. And the last one is the is the dashboard on the portal, where you can go and, as an admin or as a manager, you can go and look at things and then get analytics data. And also you can do the settings. You can set up your SSO here, all of that good things. Next slide, please. And then the access management. So access management adds this kiosk dashboard. That's one of our Zebra. You can use one of our Zebra's tablets, and then it gives you how they use it is they put it on the shop floor or on the store floor, where everybody comes and then they look at this and then they decide how many devices are available, which one to go find it, and then eventually we are adding more features to it. Eventually, there is also a hardware part of it where the devices are in a hardware box where it's locked, and then you can release it and then you can pick up the device also. So this is Device Guardian. On top of that, additional access management. That's why it's called access management. Next slide. So Device Guardian and access management. Now let me come to the APIs part of it. Now you don't need to use APIs, but there are several use cases where we have come across our customers who want to communicate with our on the device or through the REST APIs to communicate and then change the status, or at least, or just get the query the status, query the info, that kind of information. So now these are not public APIs. If you want access to these APIs, you will have to request that, and then it's on a need basis. It will be provided. Remember, the whole point is all devices are saying who is using my device, right? How long they have been using, what is their role, role being, are they regular users? Are they supervisors? Are they admins? That also can be captured using the Identity Guardian that I mentioned. And then that's all brought into cloud per site, per location, or the entire corporation itself. So you can do those queries as long as you have the right access to it. So that's where the authentication get token comes in. I'm not going to get into the details. There is a multiple steps on how to get the tokens, how to apply for the token, how do we make sure that you're the right person, all of that. Probably another session on that one. And then get devices is to retrieve all devices, such as what is the status of a device? Is it lost? Is it connected? What access points is it currently under? That can, or I just want the devices at these store locations. That can also be done. And the next thing is update devices, where you modify the device, where you can say the device guardian itself has automated rule to say, I want to change the device state from available to missing, or to be found, marked as to be found, or it is moved from one site to another, or it's being checked out, checked in by a particular user. All those are states of a device. Now, we do have several automated rules to modify the state. And some places where customers say, I don't want you to automatically do all these things, I will pick and choose. And then I have my own application that changes the status of the device and give me an API. That's the update device. And the next one is decommission device. Decommissioning is part of I have assigned this device to a location, but I no longer want to use that device at that location permanently or temporarily, because I had to send it out for repair, whatever that is, right? Or it got completely destroyed. I want to take it out of inventory. That's where the decommissioning comes. Of course, the decommissioning and then recommissioning is part of that API. You can use your APIs to do it. And then the next one is the delete. Delete is really get it out of my system. I don't want to see it at all, right? You can decommission, but it's still there in the system. And the admins, IT admins who have access to all devices across all their stores and locations, they can see the ones that are decommissioned as well across all stores. But once you delete it, that's gone. And so in addition to that, you can create sites, you can update sites. Sites include information such as what is the name of the site and also the time zone. Why do you need time zone for a site? Because one, it helps us from analytics perspective. And also for a site, you can identify who the manager or supervisor is, who the users are, and you can create reports for that site. And then also what we call snapshot report, which is at the end of the day, let's say 8 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening, it sends out a report of the day, basically saying how many devices are there, how many devices are used, how many devices were lost, how many devices were retrieved, and how many devices are still lost, so that the supervisor can decide what to do about it. So that's what the sites helps us with. So you have create sites, you can modify the information about sites, or you can delete. And the last thing, which is also important, that's how we track the devices based on the access points it's being connected to. So you can create access points at a site, however many you want, and then you can add a friendly name to it. You can say it's groceries, electronics. So that's how we can show, hey, your device is at groceries. Last time I heard from it was in groceries. It is not moving. You may want to go. There is a chance that it's going to be lost if you don't go find it immediately, or it's running out of battery. So you probably should go find them. So that is where the access points come into place. And you can use the APIs to create, delete, or update the access points. These are the main APIs from a device guardian and access point management. Now, these are not completely, this is what we have today, but we have a bunch of new APIs that we are working on that will be available in the next few months also. Next slide, please. Just a quick how the code looks like, code snippets here, right? So here use case is how do I obtain comprehensive analytics of device usage? So this is where device usage, availability, missing persons, missing devices, and who is using the device can also be pulled in. So in the first one, you're apart from the token point of view authorization that you can see that there, and you're doing a get and you're getting the data of the devices there. And in the second one, you're all the device lists, and then you're walking through it, and then you're capturing the data information related to the devices. And you can see that it provides you model number, serial number, and the access point location, MAC address of the access point, who is using it, um, last user and the current user. Device state is, oh, it's missing. Someone has already said it needs to be found. That is what the status is. And then the site name or store name. And is it being used, or it's no one is using it? Obviously, if someone is using it, that becomes in use, and the device type is device. Because why is it device? We also track Bluetooth scanners, such as RS devices, RS5, 500, 502 devices can also be tracked, right? I'm not going to get into the details of it. It is a different use case than regular devices because these RS scanners are connected to the device. The whole idea is you are using it, you're taking a break, you take that device off your hand and put it there, but you take the device and move away, you forgot the RS, and you want to go pick up the RS. That's the use case. And we have plans to add the Zebra devices, Zebra printers, Bluetooth printers, and mobile printers, even Wi-Fi printers. Um, that's in plan right now. Next slide. So this is the other example of site assignment. So one is to create sites, another one is to assign devices to a site. Now there is a feature where you can say, I don't want you to assign devices. Whatever the access point you're under, use them as that access point is in this store, and whatever the device is using that access point, that is for the store. That feature is there. That's an automatic feature, but some people don't want it, so they want to assign specifically. And this is the code snippet that's basically shows you how to do that, right? You're adding, in this case, you're adding a device with serial number, bunch of serial numbers, and you can also add the status at that point when you're adding it, right? And then also time and date, you can add that too. And then you can change the status also at the same time. So it's showing a number of different things you can do when you're adding a site, and then make all those changes, right? Including state, device state, and then the site, and then the kiosk itself. You can say a kiosk itself is a device. So you can also configure kiosk itself using these APIs. Right. Okay, next slide. These are all REST APIs, right? It's going into the cloud and getting this. Now, that's all cloud. You can use your application on the device to call them, but in many of our customer use cases, they have separate their own web apps. They have their own dashboards. They have their own processes. They use their own tools where they're calling these REST APIs from their PCs or servers or wherever, right? But we also have some APIs also where this one is marking a device as missing or in service. So this is also REST API. Sorry, I went a little bit too far. Next slide. Need to keep going a little bit faster here. And this is decommissioning and recommissioning, how to do that. Next slide, please. Before I move to this one, we do have some APIs available, what we call proxy mode on the mobile device, where you can do certain APIs, such as you can say on this particular device, I don't want to use REST APIs. I want to call directly to the device guardian running on the device, let it do all the heavy work, where I call this and then say, this person is using it, and this is the status I want to put it in. I don't want to reach out to REST APIs. But REST APIs is open for all devices, all locations, whereas on the device is only meant for that particular device. That can also be done. Moving on to the use cases here real quick. Risk assessment for device loss. How do I find out in the top 3 stores the highest risk of losing devices, and what can I do about it? Why are we losing it? Exactly what area are we using it? Is there a particular 1 or 2 people that are making mistakes, can also be decided. And the next one is tracking lost devices. I want this. So this one is how long it took for me to figure out the device was lost, and how long it took for people to go find it. And what we are seeing is using multiple different tools. Um, if the people know how to use the system, we have seen consistently within 2 to 3 minutes, people go find them, right? Uh, uh, so it's an impressive tool that way. And we are adding more features to increase the accuracy of where the devices exactly are. Remember, many a times you may go very close to your device, but it may not be in your visible site because it's hiding under a table. That's where we have that audible. Even if you have turned off audible, we will turn it on and then beep, so that beep, or you can change the tone so that you can go pick it up. Next slide, please. So next one is Identity Guardian. Once again, Identity Guardian can be used separately, or Identity Guardian can be used with Device Guardian. The role of Identity Guardian is to block unauthorized use of the device And when it unblocks, deciding who the user is, and then maybe pass that information to device guardian, um, if needed. If you're not using device guardian, identity guardian passes that information to our solution called ZDNA Cloud. Many of you probably are aware of it, where you can go and do user management in ZDNA Cloud as well. But once again, identity guardian can be used with ZDNA Cloud or with device guardian independent of them. I know I'm throwing in a lot of names here. If you're new, it could be a little bit confusing, um, but these are the different pieces that come together as an end-to-end solution for our customers. Next slide, please. So what kind of authentication when you have the device blocked can you do? Facial biometrics. You can scan a barcode and then you can show your face where your facial biometrics is stored in the scan data, encrypted and everything. You can do multi-factor login. So you can have a PIN, you can have facial biometrics, you can do SSO and PIN, that kind of things. Um, So, and then the SSO, the next one. So if your customer have their own SSO, we support ping, we support a bunch of other things. We continue to add them more and more, uh, standards, so that you can use SSO for that purpose, right? Now, many of our customers, especially the big ones, use SSO for unblocking the device. You can use it for accountability, who is using it, obviously, right? When it was checked out, who didn't bring it back, how long they've been using. Device Guardian makes full use of that Identity Guardian features. Protect personal data. Definitely, we are making sure that the data is protected, and personalization as to the experience for users could be different from one person to another based on their roles. Once again, roles are defined by the corporations, but roles once again depends on um, you're a operator, you're a supervisor, you're a manager, you're IT admin, that kind of a role. That also defines what access you gain once you log into the system using that role. Next slide. So once again, I already explained this. On the SSO, you can see that currently we have Entra, Microsoft Entra, Ping ID, and Okta. And you can do facial biometrics, barcode and face, or you can do barcode and user passcode, barcode only. NFC authentication is coming soon, or you can do user ID and password in Zebra Cloud. That's got nothing to do with SSO. You can create your own user ID password. Next slide, please. These are the APIs. This is not REST APIs. This is on the device APIs where you can let IG do all its job, and then you can use to communicate with IG to get some information. So you have your own application and it wants to know who is using the device, who the current user was, uh, all of that kind of thing. I'll go through one by one. You can use that to kickstart this before we so that you can do additional things in your own application. One is register for notification. So when an event occurs, IG will let your application know, and then get current user session. So for example, someone logs in, that's a notification event, right? Get current user, get previous user, set current user. You may say, hey, I want to tell you who the current user is. I don't want you to block the device because um, I want to do it myself, but I want to tell you because I want to track the users using your system. That is what we call proxy mode. And that's where another system tells us who the current user is. And the next one is start authentication. This is where you say, oh, okay, you do your thing. I'll tell you when I want to authenticate. I don't. So I'll kickstart that, and then that's the start authentication, and then the get authentication status. The next one is lock screen message. You can change the message that appears on the lock screen when the identity guardian is blocking the screen. And then you can also use the logout user also, where you say, I want to, this person is currently using it, I want to log that person out, and then bring the lock screen again so that the next person can authenticate and start using it. Next slide. So this is just basically what I showed you, the use case wise. User create a personal login profile, which is encrypted in a barcode. User in the sense it could be done by manager, also help user create their personal login. We are improving this for adding a group import export capability also. And then once that is all done, user picks up the device and then they scan their barcode or do the SSO. And you can see the APIs for the start authentication part of the APIs on the device that is done. We are using Content Manager here. You basically send this URI to pass that to Content Manager, and content. We'll get into that a little bit later. Content Manager will do the will get the notification from you and it will process. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is some more use case where admin developer, I want to create an attendance system, how to do it. I'm not going to get into the details. Please read this. There is a lot more accountability where I want to use a facial biometric authentication and use that user ID password in my own system. That's what the purpose of this API is. I want you to do certain things for me, but not everything. In some places, I want to tell you what I want. In some other places, I want to tell you when you should do what you're supposed to. That's what the API gives, that flexibility, right? Programmatically using. You can also setting up moving forward, setting up the users can also be done using the APIs. Next slide. Okay, so what else is coming? Future is not, I don't have the timeline yet. So this is where I want to send device logged in, logged out data from my launcher application to Identity Guardian. So if someone has their own launcher application, how to send that information. Can we go back to the slide? One slide, the previous slide, please. One more minute. Keep going. There you go. Next one is to get authentication status logged in, logged out from my authentication application, if Zebra or from a third party. It's a little complicated, nuances is there. And then I want to call Cloud API. This is where I want to get into the cloud because I want more than just this particular device to enroll and unenroll a device or a user. So that's where the Cloud API will also come and help. That's all for future. Next slide. So MX.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you please turn off your Teams notification sound if possible?
Oh, okay. I didn't
Thank you
realize.
so much.
All right. So now we come to MX, our mobility extensions. This is the engine that drives all the Zebra values on the mobile device. This has nothing to, even though it helps with many of the cloud solutions we use, including ZDNA Cloud and Device Guardian and even IG. In many ways, these MX are called internally, but these are also is really the engine that drives. This is the heart of our Zebra value adds, and I thought it's not new. It's been there for several years, but we keep on adding new things. So I thought I'll bring up some of these things here. Next slide. So in recently, once again, I said you can do several hundreds of features are available through APIs. You can do it through EMMs or you can do it through your own applications. Not necessarily all APIs are available through your own app, but a big chunk of APIs are available. These are all available in Tech Talks, the documentation. Recently, what we have done, that's what I'm going to introduce you here, enhanced security, including device encryption, application whitelisting, and secure app deployment, and device management side, enhanced capabilities, including administrator to configure, monitor, and manage device more effectively. Data capture features are also added. Um, Recently, enterprise connectivity, improved network management, connectivity options are added, and user interface customization for specific use cases were also added. Next slide, please. And that's Access Manager gives you access. You These APIs cannot be called by anybody, right? This is where you say a particular application wants to call this API. Your administrator has to grant that application to access that particular feature. That is where the access manager comes. Recently, we added individually controlled device user access to accessibility and network settings in the Android setting panels. Whether you want an user to access them in the settings panel, turn them on, turn them off, is available. App manager options. Um, so this is where automatically launch an app or reboot the device after an installation can also be done. And then app widgets through app feature action parameter. So dev admin secondary keyboard to work in additional to Android screen. I'm not going to go through all of this in the interest of time, but there are a lot of these things that are added recently. Display manager changes, Bluetooth manager changes, cellular manager, uh, and UI manager, how you want to modify the UI for your specific use cases. And then the power manager um, can also be added. Some of the important thing is also you can Bluetooth manager set individual Bluetooth profiles as active or inactive. You can also do that. There are several Bluetooth manager added recently, so that could be interest to you. Next slide. This is just an UI. How can you use MX in the EMDK in your application? You don't have to write code. This profile manager helps you write code for you. So you don't have to write code in your application. This is obviously available in Tech Talk. This is not new. This is just an introduction. Okay. So this is the code behind it. Once again, I said, if you're using EMDK in your application, you don't have to worry about it. So, but you can, so because it adds code to your application when you use EMDK, you can go and look at it. My recommendation is try not to change it because unless you know exactly what the protocol is. Next slide. So this shows you the code added to battery how you can add apps to battery optimization list. That's the dose mode, right? Where your app can continue to work when it is in dose mode. And then clearing application cache, you can do it in the next one. Next slide. These are all important. I'm showing this because most people try to do it. Most used use cases. Allow new pairing, allow or disallow, right? Prevent new pairing. You can do that. Next slide. When I say pairing, I mean Bluetooth pairing. Next slide. Secure Storage Manager. This is a pretty big big topic. Don't have all time to introduce all little features and everything here. So going to go fast. You guys can review this later and get in touch with us if you have any questions. But I'll just talk about the features very quickly and some APIs. Next slide. So you all know content provider in Android. that helps you share data between applications. That makes it more secure, right? And that is the standard way of doing things in Android. And more places where they're blocking you from just sending data across and then passing it to the other application. This is what the most secure way. What we have done is we have built a layer around content provider, and we called it Secure Storage Manager. And we added such things as encryption, decryption part of it, and also downloading files and passing it to other applications, and all of that kind of things we have added to make it easy for you guys to use it. So it's not like we're doing anything completely Zebra specific thing here. We are building a layer around content provider. Okay, next slide. So this is some information. Unfortunately, I don't have time to take you through details of these APIs. This is where you say, I am such and such an application. I'm passing this data to such and such an application, and you add the data, and then you pass the data to the SSM, and then the other application gets a notification. And on the other side, you can go and query the data that you got. Um, Once again, none of this is uh, Zebra specific. You can use all the existing APIs to go get the data and then parse the data that is meant for you, right? So you won't be able to get the data that was meant for someone else. And then you can use our tools, our APIs, to unencrypt the data that you got, and then use the data in your application as is. In this case, user info and data persist. Uh, the data was passed here. Next slide. This is basically an architect of how it could be used. Internally, we use it between most of our applications to content provider, and EMMs also, EMMs or MDMs also use this data. Let's say you're passing some information to data wedge, or passing information to EHS. You can use this, the same mechanism. You can see that um, the EMMs through StageNow tool passes the staging profiles to MX. It goes through SSM. SSM stores it. And when you store it, you can say, make it persistent or non-persistent. Persistent means if you do enterprise reset of the device, persist and use it. If you say don't, by default, you can say non-persist. That means that it gets wiped out. So that's also a feature available because we added that around content provider. And then any MDNA apps receive this because that was the package was intended for that. And you can use it. It doesn't have to be between Zebra application. You can use it between your own applications. You can write your applications to make use of this. All the documentation is available on TechTalk. So you can also secure your own communication between different applications. So we strongly recommend that you do that. That's one, it brings standards. Two, it is very secure. But definitely, when you're passing information to our applications, you will have to use this moving forward. So some of them still have the old mechanism of doing things, but moving forward, because one is we want to make it secure, and two, Android is closing all kinds of different mechanism to pass data, right? So this is why we strongly recommend that you move to this. Next slide. So this is using, you can pass not just data, you can pass files, right? So that is retrieving file using notification. It's showing how to do that using a bundle, right? You get the notification on receive, you use that, and then you parse the data. And then you're on the right-hand side, you're passing the file content. Next slide. So this is querying files from SSM once again. Um, I'll let you guys take a look at it. Running on out of time almost. Next slide. Okay, that was my last slide. Kanagal, you wanted to add anything that I probably forgot before we open up for Q&A?
Yeah, one of the thing I would like to add is, so as Prashant was talking about the identity guardian, right? If you want to build your own lock screen and you want to interface with the device guardian, so those are the times you can use the APIs which was exposed in the device guardian on device or the identity guardian in the proxy mode. So some of our customer, they build their own lock screen, but they want to interface with the device guardian.
And thank you, Kanagal, for answering this. And would you please, could you please introduce yourself to our developer audience as well?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I'm Kanagal Raj. I've been in this company for 14 years and I have the overall in software industry experience of 20 plus years. I work as a solutions architect, subject matter expert on many solutions. I interface many of the critical customers to understand their pain points and provide the solutions.
Thank you so much. Glad to have you on us for this Dev Talk. And thank you so much, Prashant, for the fantastic presentation. We do have a few questions that came in over in the Q&A section. So I'm going to read out those questions to you. The first question is, can I push my own events to the API? For instance, from my backend service, if a user logs into an app, I want to push the log on, log off event for that app.
Uh, Log on and log off? Yes.
Okay. Anything else that you would like to add to this question? Like how do they push the log on, log off event for for the app?
So I'm assuming um, Identity Guardian is the use case here, right? Um, one of the slides had that log on, log off. Now that start authentication and a user logout is there. So one is you start authentication or you call um, login. Login is I don't want you to. So set user is I did the login myself, and here is the user and their role. Make sure to collect it in your solution, whether it's on the cloud or locally, right? That you can do, or you can say, whatever I was working on, I'm done. So restart the session, go block the device, and then collect the new user information. So two mechanisms. One is telling us to do lock someone out and bring someone else in, re-authenticate, and use that person as the user. Or saying, I don't want you to do that. I will do the heavy lifting of finding out who my users are because I have an application. I already built it, so I want to call you and tell you so that you capture that and then you use it, whether it's in device guardian or in device guardian to say this device is being used by so and so. And then I will also tell you when that person stop using it, you can say, I don't assign this person to that particular device until a new login occurs. You can do that all through APIs. It is once again, these are all through content providers. We give some code snippets, and definitely we can give tech doc. Many of those tech docs don't exist. This is on need basis. Some of these APIs that I talked about, REST APIs and the IG APIs. IG APIs are available, but the proxy mode IG API where you're calling, you're saying who is using and all of that yourself, that is not documented for some reasons, but please get in touch with us and we will work with you to provide you that information. But what IG does is send me the notification, tell me who logged in, tell me who logged out. All of that is available. That information is public, that's available online.
Thank you for answering this. We have another question here. We are really excited by how Zebra MX and mobility extensions could help us enforce consistent device behavior across fleets, which is a big help in managing large deployment of our RFID app, Visium Mobile. Slightly outside today's scope, but still relevant to long term platform consistency, we have noticed that .NET MAUI SDK tends to lag behind the Android SDK. Is that something Zebra is aiming to align more closely in future to better support cross platform development?
That's a good question. Couple of blogs have been created for Mavi, right? Um, so um, we have several new developer experience plan that is being reviewed and worked on. Kanagal and I myself are very actively involved in it, and Kanagal is leading a bunch of those action items. It's not just Mavi. I'm going beyond Mavi. What do we do for React JS and those kind of things? Enterprise browser, HTML and JavaScripts. What are we doing in the enterprise browser? All of that is being relooked at, but Mavi is definitely on top of our list. That's um, a very high in demand, especially. So yes, we do have it. Unfortunately, I don't have a date for you, but hopefully I can get in touch with you just to get your feedback as we start putting those plans in implementation.
Great answer. I do have a few more questions here. I see you use SSM for communications between Zebra apps. Can we also use them for intra-application communication?
So yeah, no, so it's at the end of the day, is passing that information to who are the two packages, right? If you are passing it to yourself, of course you get the notification and you get to process that.
Got it. And I have a question to ask you, Prashant. Fantastic presentation, by the way. I'm curious about the access management. It sounds like the old ZAMS. What happened to it?
That's a good question. Um, there was previously device tracker and ZAMS. Sorry, I forgot the exact name of ZAMS. Kanakal, do you remember? ZAMS stood for,
Yeah,
okay,
Zebra Access Management Service.
Access Management Service. Thanks. So they were separate solutions, but there were a lot of things that were very common that was confusing customers a lot. And also that whole fragmentation of implementation, management, and licensing, all of that was really, really painful. So we decided to combine them, even though they're still called device guardian and access management. It's single solution. Depending on the license you bought, either you get device guardian only or the ZAMS device guardian and the ZAMS old ZAMS part of it, what we call device guardian access management. So it is now consolidated one place with a lot more features, right, that you didn't have in ZAMS. So that's a good question. Thanks.
So, with that, we wrap up our session for today. Please watch for a quick survey that will appear as soon as the webinar ends. We greatly value your feedback, so please take a minute to share your thoughts, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Kanagal.
Thank you all.